As your project grows, you're sure to want to add additional layers to your drawings as you go along. And if you want to, there's a few different ways to do it. The first one is to right-click on the Layer tab, and you could just hit Add a Layer, and it adds a new layer right above it, usually named the next letter in the alphabet. There's another way, which is that you can go over to the Layer toolbar, and there's a layer with a plus sign, and you can just press that to add a layer, and now we have a new layer C up here as well. Finally, you could go up to Layer in the menu and press Add Layer, and now we have Layer D. Those layers that I just added were all empty, transparent layers, but if you wanted to duplicate a layer, for example, maybe I want this guy to be twins, I could right-click on that Layer tab and just write Copy Selected Layers, and then right-click on the Layer tab again and press Paste Layer. And now I'm going to have two different layers with the same artwork. And the way I can tell is using my Select tool. I'm going to grab the artwork and move it. And now we'll be able to see that I actually have this new layer with artwork and the original old layer with artwork. I just changed the colors on these characters to help illustrate why we may want to rename our layers. So I have these two characters on two separate layers, but I may not be able to remember which one is which. So the first thing I'll do is to tap on those eyeballs and discover what artwork is contained there. And if I want to rename this rename this layer, I'll just right-click on it and hit Rename Layers, enter a new layer name, and I'll just call him Greeny. That'll help me to remember what's on that layer. By the same token, this one is the red guy. So I could, with this layer selected, go over to Layer and hit Rename Layers. It's just an optional way of doing it. And type in this guy's name, which is Red Rum. Okay, so now I can rename your layers pretty easily. You can also reorder your layers. If you wanted to put Red Rum on top, you would grab that layer and just slide it up, and now it is on the top. If I wanted to put the background layer on the top, I can select it and drag it all the way to the top. I could also drag it in between these two. You can see that little I-beam there. So you can move these panels up or down however you want to. You can also go over here to Layer, and this is related to the current layer. You could say Bring Layer to Front, and watch that background whoop, went all the way to the front or the top of the layer stack. By the same token, I could go to Layer and send Layer to Back, and it will go all the way to the bottom. I can also pick one of the layers and just send it backward one step, and Red Run now goes below Greeny, but it hasn't gone all the way to the bottom. So you can either move them by dragging them, or you can move them with menu commands.